My mic was muted, Church of God. And hey, listen, praise the Lord, Janasha, praise the Lord, Rob, praise the Lord, Shoshana, praise the Lord, Mike. Sorry, no sound. Here we go. I'm gonna read again. I'm gonna read a little shorter version, okay? Let's go with Joshua chapter 6. Joshua chapter 6. Um, let's just do verse 2. It says, and the Lord said to Joshua, he says, see, I have given Jericho, its king and mighty men of valor, into your hands. Just something really short. Hey, Christian, good to see you, man. Is this Janet? So we're talking about why you can't quit. And I know this is like, oh, what's, this ain't the time to be talking about because of the pandemic. This ain't the time to be talking about because everything that's going on in the world. No, no, no. We need to encourage each other, like why we should not be quitting, why this is not the time to give up. Because one of the messages that I ministered late last year was talking about it's actually like the theme of our church of this being our year, the axe head, of how the young man was trying to do the work of the Lord and his axe head falls in and something that's unforgiving. Like I always say, like, if it fell on the ground, then it would have gave it back. He could just picked it up and kept on going. But it fell in the water, which is kind of like there's no bottom to it. So there's no way for him to go and get it back. But then, when he put the spirit with, he had a prophet in his life, he was able to retrieve some things to keep on working. And so I want to minister this to anybody who's watching, because the one thing that we cannot do is get discouraged in the middle of all this is going on. One thing we can't do is keep getting discouraged and hearing messages that speak about, even in a pandemic, or I know you're in a pandemic, and and I understand I want to be insensitive to those who are being blessed by that, but I want to make sure that this pandemic does not take over our services. It does not take over our message of the gospel. And so one thing that to kind of consider is that if you would ask people, why didn't you, accomplish certain goals last year? Why were there some things that you had planned on doing and now you're looking in 2021 or looking at the end of 2020 and you hadn't accomplished anything? And then someone saying, I didn't have the support I thought I would have. I didn't find the momentum I needed to get along the way. I stopped believing in my own vision. And the thing is, all of those things are valid. All of those things are valid reasons as to why you may not have accomplished some things. But there's one reason that I feel is the base, the foundation of why some goals aren't reached. And that's because you haven't found your why. If you kind of watch, self-help, they always tell you find your why. And once you found your why, you find your reason to get up every morning. You find your reason to wake up. You find your reason to get out the bed. You found that reason to change your attitude. And so once you get a resolve in yourself, a resolution, a resolve in yourself, that one thing that changes your position, it changes your mindset, it changes your way of thinking, because you kind of come to the conclusion that this is what it is, and I'm not deviating from it. You're catching that. It's this is what I've set my mind to do, and I'm not moving away from it. It's coming to a definite and earnest decision. Okay, a definite and earnest decision. It's making a decision that this year I'm going to save up such and such amount of money. Now that comes with sacrifice. That comes with not being able to do as much as I was doing before, which is the reason why I don't have as much as I need to do what I'm doing now. Y'all catching me? We're making decisions, and where last year we kept letting things kind of deviate us, we kept letting things kind of turn our mind, we kept letting things kind of say, we can wait and let's just wait and see, wait it out and see what happens. This is not the year to wait it out. Y'all catch that? This is not the year to say, oh, we'll try it again, oh, we'll try another route, or we'll try, no. This is the year to pick up your accent. This is your year to get your tools back to work and get back to building. Because one thing is, we're going to look for 2 years. You're telling me we're going to get to New Year's service at the end of this year, and you still have not accomplished what was on your vision board from the beginning of 2020. You're going to waste 2 years waiting for the right moment. You're going to waste 2 years waiting on the opportune time. And what happens is we find ourselves making excuses as to why. It's like, oh, I figured it wasn't God's timing. Or I figured it was this, I figured it was that. And all we're doing is making excuses. We say, I got distracted. You cannot get distracted if you're never on track with anything. Distract. That means you're on. That means you're on a road. You're actually going somewhere, and then something came along and knocked you off. That's distracted. But if you were never working in the first place, if you were never putting your hands to do anything in the first place, I doubt you got distracted. I think you just added on more excuses. So this is the year where we stop making excuses. This is the year where we stop putting off things, waiting for the wind to be right. I'm not going to go to the Wright brothers, but waiting for the wind to be right before we try this thing out. We can't do that this year. All right. And so what happens is a lot of times when we get in this position, people end up being more excited about our vision than we are. You know what I'm saying? It's because we get our excitement from other people. And the thing about it is, and the sad thing about it is, we have to realize is that people are fickle. Okay, people will change up on a minute. They'll be ride or die January and February, and then by the time you get to around March, April, May, they say looking like, man, like I thought it would have happened by now. And so because you built your excitement off of the excitement of other people, the moment they're not excited anymore, you're not excited anymore. But this is the year that you have to get excited about your own baby. If anybody keep posting stuff about your pregnancy, post your own stuff. If you post stuff about being pregnant and you're excited and don't nobody comment, guess what? Boo-boo, do you. Post your comments about it. If you're excited about losing weight and ain't nobody excited because you keep losing weight, guess what? Keep losing weight, keep posting your photos, because this year you cannot wait on other people. You cannot wait on other people to be excited. Hey, Joanne, you cannot be excited based off of other people's excitement. Okay? So this is what happens when you don't have your why, when you don't have your resolve. You have to seek outside sources to get what you should already be producing within yourself. Confirmation, affirmation that you need, acceptance that you need to give it to yourself. You need to bring yourself to a place where you can talk yourself into encouraging yourself. Why? Because if you wait for everybody else, you end up putting unrealistic expectation on other people. And what happens is you find yourself looking at people like, why aren't you supporting me? And they're like, wait a minute, I've given you money. I've done this. Okay, now you go do it. If you're looking for someone to guide your hand the whole entire way, baby, you might need to step back. Step back. Because this is not the time to wait for other people. All right? Somebody put in the comments, say, this is my baby. Okay? This is my baby. You have to get some resolve. We're looking at Jacob, who finds himself in this unforeseen fight where all of a sudden he's in a wrestle with this angel, we'll say the Lord, and he realizes something about this battle that's life-changing. It's something in this battle that is life-altering. And so because of that, now he's realized, wait a minute, even at the moment where if you believe it's God, he's wrestling with, or an angel, whoever it is, we'll say the angel. At the time that the person who started the fight was ready to end the fight, he got his resolve. He said, no. If this is something that's going to change my life, I'm not letting you go until I get that change. And a lot of us, we get in tussles and fights, and when the fight seems to get easier, we start to back off. No. If this is something this is your year, this is your baby, this is your time to step out forward, you have no idea what your fallback will cost you. Keep driving and go forward. Keep going forward. With whatever intensity that you have, keep on going forward. So what happens is this. He gets the blessing, not because he stepped back, not because he fell back. He got his blessing and his change. His life was altered. Why? Because he got his resolve and he stuck with it. You hear me? So this is where we're at. We're even looking at David, how he could even have a chance to step back. He could have had a chance to keep saying, oh, this isn't my battle. Y'all don't forget, y'all. He went to go give his brothers bread and bring his father back a report of how his brothers were doing. He did not go out there to fight Goliath. But because he went out there, he sees the people afraid of Goliath. His leadership ability stood up inside of him, and he felt the need to protect his people. His resolve was, even though he's bigger than me, one thing I am going to do today is I'm going to get victory over this giant. And you will step back and shy away from fights that get you your victory and take you to your next place of destiny off of fear, because you don't have your resolve yet, because you don't know your why yet. You're not confident in your why yet. So the question is, Why do you feel like you've been called to start that business? Why do you feel like God is calling you in that certain area of ministry? Why do you feel like God keeps putting these people, this burden on you for a certain number of people? Why? Why? And you need to write down your why. Is I'm doing this because I believe God has called me to do this, and that. I have a burden for this and that. And this is the reason why you get up in the morning. This is the reasons why you stay up late at night. This is the reason you get up and go to work in the morning. Why? Why are you doing it? So the reason, so from the opposite side of it is when we're looking at our text in Joshua, Jericho has a resolve that because they've heard that glory be to God, that the children of Israel have God on their side, they have resolved that no one will go out of this city and no one will come in. So they end up building the most fortified city known for that time. Here's the thing. Because they got the resolve, they did the work. Because they got the resolve, they got results. Because they got the resolve, they built up this city. Unfortunately, they built it against the people of God. But at the end of the day, even for the people of God, when you have a resolve, your resolve will override your enemy's determination. Get this. Get this. When you have a resolve, your resolve will override the determination of your enemy. No matter how much they wanted to keep them out of Jericho, no matter how bad they wanted to keep them out of their city, no matter how much they kept saying, no one's coming in, no one's going out. When God set an assignment for them, when God said Jericho shall be yours, I've taken Jericho and I already put it into your hands. Before you even step into the battle, I put Jericho in your hands. And now they're looking at Jericho and there's this humongous wall that they feel like they can't get over. The fact that God has already put it in their head, you hear me? The fact that God has already put it in their mind, that that's your city, that's your vision, that's your relationship, that's your ministry, that's your church, that's your business, that's your book. He's put it in their head. And once it's in his head, it overrides the determination of Jericho. So there is no wall that's strong enough for the plan of God. I'm trying to calm down, y'all. You hear me? You hear me? The word resolve, it means it's a determination and let me get it again. I want to make sure I'm right. It's a definite and earnest decision. A definite and earnest decision, Gary. Definite and earnest. There is no changing. There is no altering of this decision I made. This is my decision, and I'm sticking with this. That's what resolve means. So Jericho, yes, they have made their resolve that nobody's coming in, nobody's going out. But God made the resolve for Israel. God made the resolve for them. So they're not going off of their own self-will. They're not going off of their own, desires and their own self-will and what they want to do. No. God has already set the desire of his heart for them. You shall possess that land. So therefore, whatever Jericho says, listen, doesn't even matter. You're fighting up against enemies that already know they lost. I was preaching, I think it was the Sunday before, about how Gideon is going to this battle against I think it's the Moabites. And the Lord tells him, he says, before you go into this war, go over there the night before over to the camp. He goes to the camp with the Moabites, and the Moabites, one man stands up and says, yo, I had a dream. I had a dream that a loaf of bread rolled down the hill, and it went into one of the tents. And that one loaf of bread turned over the whole entire tent and destroyed the whole tent. I don't know. Another one stands up and says, let me tell you what it means. It means that's the army of Gideon. Now, mind you, he's down to 300. Not many people, small loaf of bread. He says that's the army of Gideon that's coming down. Is going to tear down your place. The small army of Gideon is one small loaf of bread. Why? Because God put the resolve in Gideon. Why? Because Gideon at this time is acting out of fear. Gideon is hiding his wheat in the winepress. Gideon is scared for his life, and yet God calls him a mighty man of valor. He doesn't call him according to his current state. He calls him according to who he sees him to be in the future. So therefore, his resolve is, you shall get the victory over the Moabites. And the greatest part of that was, not part of the lesson, but the greatest part of that was once he started getting the victory, he started calling other people to come get victory over the Moabites. What you're facing now and the victory you're going to get is not just for you, it's for those who are connected to you. All right. But let me get back to this resolve. Let me get back to the why, the resolve. The resolve. So I don't want to bore you guys, but the next process with this resolve as it refers to this text is their ability to follow the simple instructions of God. Let me hit that really quick, because a lot of us are really quick. We're really quick to do the grand things for God. And I know it's everything has a caveat to it. There's some people who don't want the mic, but there's some people who don't mind doing the grand things for God. They don't mind doing they don't mind standing in front of the people. They don't mind saying, "Thus saith the Lord." They don't mind, but they can't follow the simple instructions of God. When God says, when you go to church today, go apologize to that one sister because you was nasty to her last week. Can we do that? can we do that? Oh, okay. When you get to church today, you're actually going to be silent today. Can we do that? When you get to church today, sit. You don't have to sit towards the front. Lord, I want to prophesy. I want people to see me prophesy. I want them to see me dancing and shouting. I want them to see, because I'm doing this for you. Yeah, it's something about you. How about today? Follow my simple instructions. He tells them, like, yo, you gave us Jericho into our hand. So because you gave us, yes, Lord, being above reproach, correct. Because you gave us this, all we gotta do is walk in and just claim it, right? No. You can be excited, but be very wise. Go around the city and say nothing one time for 6 days. Go. Listen, you have to dissect this thing. Imagine you being a part of something, okay, where you go, say nothing, and just go home. You're seeing what God said. You're seeing what God is going to bring into your life. You're seeing the promised land, and he says, walk over to it, walk around it, don't say nothing, and then go home. You mean to tell me I can't post on Facebook, big news coming? No. You mean to tell me I can't post pictures of the place and just act, don't even do that. I know some people will teach that, if you're silent, nobody can support you because they'll know what's going on. I get that. Everything has its place. But there are some seasons where God will have you work in silence, because the enemy cannot work against what's already done. And you've given him, and it's not even the enemy. There are people who don't want to see you walk into your greatness. There are people who don't want to see you walk into your future. And you're giving them all the ammo they need, because they know when you're going to be there. They're going to know how long you're going to be there, what time you're going to be there, what the address is, and it gives them everything they need. But if you can work in silence, if you can move in silence, by the time they hear about it, it's already done. And all they're doing is saying, wow, that was great. And we keep saying, oh, come with me on the journey. Yeah, come on this journey. You ain't getting all the details, though, because everybody does not want to see you blessed. So they have to do this. Yes, I love that. Discipline and maturity. Yes, I love that. It's the simple things that cause the biggest problem. Say so. Little foxes destroy the whole entire vine. And so they're walking around the city, and they're like, yo, like, how much longer we gotta do this? And because you're impatient, and because you can't, everything has to happen immediately for you, you get to the 6th day, you're like, all right, I'm probably not coming back tomorrow. If this is all we're gonna do, I got stuff to do. My favorite line from church people who really don't do nothing: I need balance. So I'm not gonna be able to come tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because when we walk into the promise, guess what? You won't be able to make that either. You won't be able to make that either. Okay. Anyway, let me not get into that. But so here it happens. So now they come to the seventh day, and God is saying, "Listen, this is the day where you're gonna walk around those 7 times." All right. So they walk around the first time. I just see it in my head. They walk around the first time, and everybody's like, "We know." don't tell us. We know, y'all. Let's go. And they look back and they see, wait, Joshua and the elders, they're still walking. This is why it's important that you have a leader that's moved by God and not the people. This is why you don't have Aarons who make the golden calf because they're pressured to be liked by the people. But you have Joshua's who, when the people start walking away because they think that, we're just doing this how, we've been always been doing this, and they keep on walking. Yeah, I hope you have a leader that keeps walking, because if a leader stops every time the people stop, you'll never claim Jericho. Just simple as that. If the leader stops walking because the people stop walking, you never claim Jericho. So if you find a man of God that you're serving, you have a pastor or a leader that you're serving, make sure they're walking. Make sure that they're focusing on what God told them to do and not what the majority of the crowd is doing. This is how compromise ends up happening. I talked about this a few weeks ago at a Bible study I was doing for one of our churches. And I was saying how, you can find yourself in a place where slowly but surely you start to compromise because you're going based off what the people require, Moses. You're going based off what the people require. And because of that, you start compromising on what God said. So whereas we have the Aarons, yeah, we have that. But in this day and time, we need Joshua's who say, guys, yeah, you guys see I'm still going, right? All right, let's do what God said. So get behind the leader and keep on walking. So now what's happened is now they're walking, and because they have received I'm almost done. Because they have received their resolve, because they have set their mind to a destination, because they have gotten their orders from the Lord, and because they have gotten behind the leader who is following the path of God, not the path of the people. All of these things are working together to the point where now they get to the end and a sound is released. Now I'm not getting preachy, not getting preachy, but there's a sound that comes with obedience. I'm getting off of that. There's a sound that comes with obedience. There's a result in sound that comes with obedience. It may not be music, it may not be a great song, but there is a sound that comes to let you know and confirm that you have been obedient, you've gotten your resolve, you stuck it out. When people started walking away, that you stuck the whole mission out, you didn't give up along the way. And what's happening is we're in a place now where even in this pandemic, listen, let's get it. Even in this pandemic has been a time where the sound has been going out and God has been trying to figure out, he's been weeding out those who on the 7th day they left on the first walk around. And even when Joshua kept walking, they didn't come back and say, well, maybe let's just follow what he's doing. But they were so stuck in tradition that when things started to change, they decided to go with the tradition. And now with the current move of God, yeah, there's something being released to those who said, listen, I understand that all this stuff is going on, but at the end of the day, God has to be in this somewhere. And because of that, they found themselves in a place where they kept on walking. And because of that, the sound has gone forth and the people are lifting up a sound. We're not lifting up a sound of defeat. We're not lifting up the Lord's song in a strange land. We're not lifting up even a sound of worry and fear. We're not even crying out to God. We're releasing the sound that says, listen, I've been obedient. I walked out my resolve. Now give me my possession. Give me what's owed to me because I stuck it out. Yeah, so true, Gary. So true. Give me what belongs to me as a reward for what I've been doing. Because there are a lot of people who kept saying, I'm not against CDC guidelines. I'm not against I'm not against none of that stuff. But when it's been made convenient for you so that the body stays together, when the proper things have been put in place for the body to stay together, for the church to stay united, and you've used this as a break or a time to probably distance yourself from the church slowly but surely, you're going to realize that you're part of the group that walked away that first time on the seventh day. And now we possess Jericho, and you're standing back saying, "Oh man, I wish I would have stayed." Yeah, I'm sorry, but you know, that's you're missing out. So here's what it is, guys. We're almost done. Here's what it is. It's when God has released something to you, you have to set your resolve. When God has said that you're going to possess this, you're going to possess that, you find you a paper, you say, I'm going to possess this, and that. I have no idea how God's going to work it out. I have no idea how it's going to happen. All I know is I have to set my resolve. I have to set my definite and earnest decision that this right here cannot be altered. Jericho will be possessed. This business, this dream job, this career, this industry I'm trying to get, this position I'm trying to get, my health, I have to get a resolve about my health. I have to get a resolve about my sanity, my mind, my stress levels, my anxiety, my depression. You have to get a resolve over yourself. Once you set that resolve, you're now set in a place where you must wait for the simple instructions of God. And what he tells you to do, follow it to the T. Follow it to the T. Because what happens is the moment you try to step away and try to veer away from the process of the instructions, you find yourself lost and missing Jericho. You're going to miss out on Jericho because you couldn't do the one thing he said to do, and that's be quiet until I tell you to lift up a sound. Don't say anything until I tell you to do something. Listen, I know what's best for you. So that's our teaching tonight. It's whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been trying to do, whatever you've been pursuing, whatever you've been going after, the reason why it's taken so long and the reason why you don't feel the same energy you've always been feeling is because you haven't found your why. You haven't found your resolve. You haven't found your definite and earnest decision as to what you're going to do and stuck to it. So don't be like the individuals who walked away the first round of the seventh day. Stay the course. Find your leader. Get behind the leader that's walking to the cadence of God. Yes. Because they didn't have their resolve. Because they didn't have their resolve. I like that resolute mind. Because they didn't have their resolve. They had to go around do another 40 years in wilderness. So finding your why speeds up the process. Finding your why, it alters you. The problems aren't going to change. But when you change, you'll face your problems differently. So find your why. Find your resolve. And pursue that and go after that. Lord, I pray now that something was said tonight that ministered to someone, encouraged someone, helped somebody. I hope it even put a little fire up under somebody. To encourage them that what they're going after can be accomplished, but they must first find their why. They first must find the reason why they're doing it and follow your simple instructions, and they shall possess it this year. I pray that those who are watching, that they'll take hold to the word. They'll take hold to what they've written down. They even go back and watch it later and receive something new and fresh that they might have missed the first time. But let this be the year that we pursue things. Let this be the year that what you've already promised to us, we learn to follow your simple instructions and we can be wise in how we possess it. And so I thank you now. This is the year of possession. This is the year of getting. This is the year of obtaining. This is the year of the accent. We get our accent back and we start working again to build for your kingdom. So I pray all these things in your name. Amen. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys either in person or online this Sunday. Upper Room Experience, 3 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, and continue to follow us on Instagram, Ramp Seville. And you guys be blessed. Go find your why. Go pursue it. Follow the instructions of God, and he will not lead you astray, and you will possess that land. God bless you.